Hi everybody, I'm Meg Ormiston. I am so excited to do this module with you, and I am a former classroom teacher, former school board member, and an author of many books, and I'm an educational consultant. I travel all over, and I see lots of fantastic things going on with English language learners. I want to share great strategies and resources, and most importantly, things you can use tomorrow. And what you're looking at is you're looking at just a column within my TweetDeck for the ELL chat. You have many different chats around ELL, but this one seems to be the most robust. I can't tell you how many ideas I picked up by spending an afternoon on ELL chat. I can't encourage you enough. If you haven't jumped in Twitter, jump in. And if you need any help, go over to YouTube, and there's video after video after video that can help you. Your chat, your ELL chat, hashtag ELL chat, is very robust. Look at some of the topics that they're going to be talking about. And the way most chats work is there's an evening and usually an hour that the chat goes on, but most of the time I can't make the live chat. So I rely on the archives. And you have a really great team behind ELL that has archived everything. Joel Jackson is one of the I don't guess maybe, I don't know if he's the founder of ELL Chat, but he seems to be very active in that. Also, there is quite a robust Facebook page. And it looks like this is the first chat that I've seen that I think is going on in Facebook as well as Twitter, which is really interesting. This is hands down my go-to guru for anything that ties with ELL, ESL, EFL, whatever you're calling it. Larry is the man to know. He's written a bunch of books, but I don't rely on his books as much as I do his website. He's unbelievable. Not only does he blog, and he's constantly sharing great resources. I don't think he sleeps. And I'm so thankful that he is sharing everything with us. Every year he does a list, the best of lists. I pulled it up and there's so many resources here. I really did get lost. I probably spent hours just clicking from here to here to here. And what I did for you is I tried to pick out just the best of the best of the best. But there were so many to pick from. And he does one every year. You can see. You can go back in time. This one was fun. I spent some time here. The fun videos for English language learners. So these are the best. So he's combed through everything for you, and he's only giving you the best, best, best. But this is part 2. So there's a part 1 out there. And so these can be videos that you can use with your students. I call Larry a curator of resources. He's scrubbing the best resources out there, and he's delivering them to you. So he's a curator of information. That's the way I say that. All right, this is new, and I think it's in beta. I can't find beta anywhere in there, but it's a Google thing that I think they're putting out there to see if we like it and how we use it. It's called Google Story Builder, and I'm thinking about 2 learners. One is going to be your first character, and one's going to be your second character. Okay, so you have 2 characters, Bert and Ernie. Okay, Bert and Ernie. Then they decide to start a story, and I'm the author, and so now they start talking, and so Ernie writes a sentence, then Bert writes a sentence. Ernie writes a sentence, Bert writes a sentence, and on it goes. Then, when you're done with your 2 or 3 or 4, however many sentences, you go over into the next screen and you pick your music. And then what happens when you preview your video? It's the sentences come in, kind of marching in, and then the music is playing. It is so funny. I had a teacher in my session this week that said, I'm doing this for my department. And they were having a department meeting or something was coming up. And so he put in text, oh, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said this. He's like, I love this. And then, save it as a video, and then you share it just like you do any other Google anything. I just thought it was kind of a fun way to play with language. You might have one in one language, one in another. I don't know. I think we need to play with this and have some fun. The peanut gallery. These are little clips that a teacher has gone out and has put together and in there. I did not make sure you, of course, here's the teacher in me. Make sure before you use any video that you preview it all the way through. And you have to remember that. So make sure they're just little snippets that you can use while you're teaching. This one has a lot of different features to it. I wish you too. I was like, at first I was like, what's this? And then I kind of got into it. And you can create your own greeting cards. And it's free, as far as I can tell, with everything. And so basically you create the greeting card and then you can send it to a friend. That's what I think it is. And but look at the fun greeting cards. Another way for your students to be working with language, working with vocabulary, being creative, which of course is always important. All right, now it's free greeting cards. There's different templates, so we'll see. All right, now this one is again another way, a fun, creative way to work with words. And this is your fake Siri. So you can create your own Siri conversations. Again, what I would do with this is I would link up partners, and when I would have them kind of work back and forth, have some fun with this. Also, there is ifaketext.com. Hilarious. And just have some fun with that. So iFakeText, iFakeSiri, and I think there might be one more, but just, we could do this on paper pencil, but this just makes it a little bit more fun. This one's new to me, again, off Larry's resources, and this is if you want to make an explanation video. Like similar to how to make a peanut butter sandwich speech, but now we're going to create it into a tutorial. Lots of tips, lots of tricks, and I do these kind of tutorials all the time, so anytime that a tool might make it a little easier, that would be great. Oh, this is where I'm thinking the class tools, the fake book instead of Facebook. Very, very important that you never use Facebook for this purpose, because actually it's illegal. It's against the terms of service. So you want to use something like this. If you want, again, it's just to work with words to get students communicating, collaborating with each other. That's the purpose. This one was a lot of fun to play with. Class Tools has a lot of resources. Unfortunately, some of those resources will not work on an iPad because they still have a lot of Flash on their website. And Flash does not work easily on an iPad, I'll say. This one is you go ahead and write out your text, and then it's presented kind of this way. There's music behind there. It's pretty neat. All right. Venn diagrams are very difficult to use on computers and trying to organize that. Here, we'll make it very easy for you. Over to the right, what's your title? And then you can go ahead and put your information right in there. Actually, the new upgrade to PowerPoint has some Venn diagrams too that are easy to work with. The ones in the past have not always been easy to work with. In this one is Twister. Now I had to play with this a little bit. Create fictional status updates that you can print it off for display purposes. And I haven't played with this enough to really know, but I'll tell you, this Class Tools group, I got lost in here. I'm showing you just a few of the tools. This one to me is kind of like, Mad Libs around social media texting kind of thing. That's how I pulled it. Arcade game generator. First of all, when I looked at that graphic, I thought it took me back to my youth. But it might be fun. And again, working with words, working with language, anytime we can. I know a huge part in strategies to use as many images as possible when we're working with English language learners. And Flickr is an old classic. It's owned by Yahoo. It claims to be the largest a collection of pictures, but actually Facebook is the largest, and as far as I know. And Flickr, this is a 5-card Flickr, so it's almost like you kind of make some flashcards around a topic. The art of storytelling, and this one was a lot of fun. And I know, again, I went along with visual arts and working with pictures, and I found this website. So I thought that would be fun to dig in. This one is in beta, and anytime you see the word beta, that means they're testing it. It's pretty cool because you can take an image and then you can actually doodle on the image and add an audio message as well as a video. I had a lot of fun playing with this. Some of these features can be found in other things, but I'm always looking for simple. Simple. How can I take my students to one place instead of going to multiple places? Jeopardy Labs, can't believe it's still around. Um, it's got some great stuff. I think it's actually been kind of updated, and there are no fees. I think historically Jeopardy Labs at one point might have tried to go to a fee-based structure, but it's back and it's free. Padlet, classic, love Padlet. Padlet, you just set up an account, and then your students basically you get a code, and your students basically post on your wall if you want to think about that. Like here's an example, and so it looks like one person posted. So you can see. So basically, instead of collecting paper from everybody, you can go ahead and have them use Padlet. You can add pictures to Padlet. You can add words, and you can make all different types of Padlets. It used to be called Wall Wisher. God, this takes me back. Look at that, 2011. It used to be called Wall Wisher, and now it's Padlet. All right. This one is relatively new within maybe the past year, and it kind of takes a lot of my old favorite tools and merges them together. It's called mashing up media, where you might take a little audio clip from one place, you take video from another place and pictures from something else, and you put it all together on your tack. Okay, so kind of think of like a bulletin board where you're pulling pieces, but it's all multimedia. This one's new to me, and I'm always looking for movie maker solutions that are online that don't need software, because a lot of people that are going to Chromebooks, you can't install software, so we have to have options. And on the Chromebook to make a movie, my first option is always WeVideo, but they're changing their structure and their fee structure, and so I'm always looking for different things. This one looked interesting. I thought it would be used for a let's quick create something. And again, I'm thinking of working with words as they're writing out their scripts. There's a lot of examples, so I thought, well, I'm going to put it out there. It's always good to have a student example so you can show what where you're going with your students. Now, this one is one of the ways you can make comics. There's a ton of comic apps, websites, all different things where you can actually be creating comics. The great part about these comic makers, you're limited in what characters and props you have. So it makes you be super creative. And I think when I was thinking about ELL learners, I think the limited number will help them create the stories. This is an example of one that is at the Toronto Public Library where you can actually build and create. You can see across the bottom, those are called the callouts. And then you can go ahead, I think the next screen, then I picked my character and so on and so forth. All right, maps. Helping make connections through maps, and again using language. And this one's interesting. This is called Scribble Maps, and where you can embed images. So if you can kind of see the iPad there in the front, you can take a map and then you could go ahead and place objects within it. So what a great way if you're working on vocabulary and you're working about people, places, and things, you could begin to place them on a map and then work on the vocabulary that's tied to that. So that's called Scribble Maps. There's a couple of these, and this one is called Map Your List. What it does is if you have a spreadsheet of data, you can connect it to a map and visualize your data. I'm not sure, I just threw it in there. It's just might be interesting. Where in the world are your students from, or their families, or something like that? Not sure. Not sure this is 100% going to stay on my list. This is my friend Bill Ferreter, and Bill is in North Carolina as a teacher, and he's awesome, middle school teacher. But I've always been told never to use Google Translate. because it doesn't do it correctly and you could offend somebody. So I've never encouraged that. But look at the way Bill is using it with his students, where his students, he posts it through Google Classroom in English, but then his students, he encourages them, open it up whatever language they feel comfortable in. Never thought of it this way. Never thought. I always thought of Google Translate as like a letter home. And then he asked them to convert it back to English and submit it. I just thought, wow, what a great idea. He brought it out to some of the uh, interpreters in his building, and they said it's 90 to 95% accurate. And even the mistakes, you can usually figure them out. That's what they said. And I thought, okay, even if it's not perfect, it's a tool to help make that connection to family. And I thought that was great. And Bill makes another good point is usually in language, the student is ahead of the family. So just something out there. Now, I didn't know how to do it. So I'm reading this. I'm like, oh, that's great, Bill. I included the directions for you. It's actually super easy. It's under the Tools menu in Google Docs. I just have never noticed that. Well, I hope you have a collection of resources that you can use, first of all. I hope you share these with your colleagues. Tweet them, do anything you want. I curated them for you, and now I want you to try something new. Have a fantastic day. Thank you.